Hi, hello, welcome to today. Welcome to this video, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, I wanted to dive into something near and dear to my heart, which is my coffee station. Because honestly, how I start my morning totally impacts how the rest of my day is going to go. And coffee sits at the center of that most days. For me, it's like creating a little coffee corner at home is less about what's Instagram worthy, and it's more about having a ritual that just feels like mine. It's practical. It ultimately saves me money because Starbucks runs tend to add up over time, and it's just nice to start the day in a space that feels intentional. So in this video, I'm walking you through 5 upgrades that genuinely made a difference in my routine. So if you're building your own coffee setup or you're just curious how mine came together, hopefully something in this video can spark an idea for you. Everything I mentioned will be linked below, and I included a few different price points in case you're looking for options. And if you love cozy design with a little Midwestern flair, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be bringing tons more your way. Let's get into it. So we've talked about how having a dedicated coffee station can really shift the tone of your mornings, but I want to start with the upgrade that made the biggest impact for me, and that would be the espresso machine. It's the heart of the whole setup. Before this, I mostly used drip coffee or French press, and that worked. It just never really hit for me, personally. So investing in a quality espresso machine was what finally started to make my at-home coffee feel like a treat as opposed to a habit. And this machine is the star of the show for a reason. I'd been eyeing Breville for years, and when I finally decided to invest, I ended up going with the Breville Bambino Plus. I wanted something legit, but not something that would take over the entire counter. I didn't want a built-in grinder, and this specific machine checked all of those boxes. And I would say the biggest selling point was actually the thermojet heating system, which basically just means the machine turns on, heats up, and starts pulling your shot within like 3 seconds. Out of the 11 something models Breville offers, the Bambino Plus is the fastest by a long shot, which is honestly essential because I'm not a morning person. It's also really easy to use, which means that like my transition from drip coffee to espresso wasn't super intimidating. And if I'm being truly honest, the machine is just gorgeous. It comes in this brushed stainless steel, or you can choose from 8 different colors like damson blue, olive tapenade, or red velvet cake. I ended up going with almond nougat, which is a bright neutral color that really pops against my green wall, and it really allows the machine to be the thing that's showcased in my setup. It's also separate from the grinder, so I've been able to tweak my coffee routine a lot more than I could with an all-in-one machine. Some of the other machines I considered were the DeLonghi Dedica, which has a sleek, compact design and is more budget-friendly. I also considered the Nespresso Latissimo 1. This is super quick, and it has a built-in milk frother. Once I had the espresso machine, I realized really quickly that it's only as good as the beans you put into it. And more importantly, how you're grinding the beans you're putting into it. Which brings me to tip number 2, get yourself a good coffee grinder. That's when I started learning how much of a difference a good grinder can make. So I searched high and low, and I landed on the Gevi Grindmaster. This one works for me because it sits perfectly at the intersection of aesthetic and functional. It's got this gorgeous black and gold finish that makes it look really high-end, but also a metal build, so it feels super sturdy. It works with like a world of 64 millimeter flatburs that can be replaced or upgraded, and it has stepless grinding that lets you play with precise adjustments for fine or coarse grinds. This is perfect when you're trying to switch between things like drip or French press or pour over, or in my case, espresso. And it also comes with this really whimsical dosing cup and scale, so you're able to weigh out your doses and really dial in the perfect shot of espresso. The only two cons are that one, there is a little static that causes the machine to retain some grounds, and it can make a little bit of a mess. Second, there are occasions where beans get backed up into the chute and I'll have to like help it out a little. But overall, these are minor things compared to how solid and functional it is. Other grinders I looked at were the Hario Skirtin Plus, I think is how you say it. It's a really cute manual option that's great for smaller spaces. And then I also looked at the Baratza Encore, which is a really popular electric model that's reliable and super affordable. Tip number 3, go and get yourself a good cabinet. Starting with these machines provided a really great base for my coffee setup, but something that became immediately clear to me was that I needed a home for these machines to live in. At first, I had things just kind of scattered on the counter, and it honestly stressed me out more than it inspired me. So I knew I needed something to keep everything in one place, something that would make the whole setup feel more intentional. So I needed a cabinet to bring it all together. Now, for my cabinet, this was actually a lucky find from Aldi. It's technically a wine bar, but I turned it in my coffee station. And I was surprised when I moved in here. The wood tones match my kitchen really well. The marble top is a lifesaver for easy cleanup. Plenty of storage inside, so I can keep all the extra mugs and syrups and accessories tucked away. But having everything in one place just makes the whole setup feel cohesive. And to be quite honest, having it all in one place makes me want to use it every morning. Other cabinets I considered were the IKEA Hemnesitz. It's simple, versatile, and super affordable. And also the West Elm mid-century bar cabinet, if you're looking for something a little more design forward. Tip 4, floating wall shelves. Once the cabinet was set up and things felt more organized, I still felt like I had wasted space on the wall above the station. So I wanted to add something that could be both functional and personal. Somewhere to keep things I reach for often, but also a spot to like add a little style. So that's where the floating shelves came in. And they ended up being like the perfect finishing touch. I went with the Anton shelves from West Elm. They're minimal, stylish, they have a nice organic shape, which I love, and they help the whole space come together. I use them for syrups, mugs, little jars, and sometimes even a plant or two. It's a great way to keep essentials close without cluttering the counter. Other shelf options you could consider are the IKEA Lac shelves. These are a classic. They're super easy to install. And CB2 has shelves with like brass brackets for something a little more decorative. And finally, my favorite part, the details. These are the things that might seem small, but they're what make this space feel like mine. Some of these are practical, some are not, but sometimes things can just be fun. The syrups, the jars, the tools. This is where I really get to play and make the space feel complete. I use mason jars for beans because one type of bean won't do. I have to have options. I found these cute syrup bottles at Marshall's that make the setup look just a little more pulled together. I also grabbed a little brush for cleaning the machines, a mini spray bottle to help cut static when I'm grinding beans, and of course, my knickknacks and pieces that dress the space with personality. Some cutting boards, things I've collected or made while traveling. These are all small things, but they've made a whole routine feel smooth and enjoyable. Now, these things are very specific to me, and they were all sourced differently, but places like Target have great affordable jars and canisters. Marshalls and Home Goods have great pieces to add, whether it be practical items or even just little decorative pieces. And never underestimate what a visit to your local pottery painting place or secondhand store can do for a space like this. Once I added those final details, the syrups, the jars, the little tools that just make things easier, it finally feels complete in here. Not just in a design sense, but in a this actually makes my mornings better kind of way. What started as a few small upgrades ended up becoming a whole ritual that I actually look forward to every morning. These small changes really helped me turn a corner in how I start my day, and I hope seeing my setup gives you a few ideas for your own space too. So no pressure, just inspiration. If you've made any coffee upgrades that you love, or if something here sparked an idea, please let me know in the comments. I'm always down to chat about cozy routines, and of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me, and as always, remember, home isn't a place you find, it's a feeling you create. See you next time.